There's a trendy phrase I've been hearing for the last little while. It sounds empowering and maybe a little rebellious. The phrase is, I owe you nothing. At first, it feels like freedom, like you're protecting yourself. Or maybe you feel a little bit like a badass when you say it. But what if I told you that that mindset might be quietly destroying your relationships and how people view you? Hi and welcome. I'm here to discuss the issues we share in our 50s and 60s and beyond. My name is Bob, and I'm the Crusty Creator. We live in a culture that celebrates independence, boundaries, and self-focus. And much of that is really, really healthy. But somewhere along the line, we, as a society, have also crossed a line from self-respect into selfishness, self-absorption, and self-serving behavior. We fail to give other human beings basic human decency and dignity. It's somehow come to the point where how we feel and what we want is the only thing that matters. And screw how we make somebody else feel. It's all me, me, me. And what has that caused? Well, more people feel disconnected, overlooked, lonely, and less valued than ever before. So why is that phrase so appealing to some people? Let's be fair. The mindset didn't come out of nowhere. Maybe you've been burned before. Maybe you've given too much at some point and gotten nothing back. So you built a shield. I'm done. I owe nobody anything. That feels strong, like you're finally protecting yourself. Like you're taking control of how the outside world affects you. But here's the problem. It also provides an artificial safe place to no longer care about how you treat other people or how you make them feel. It robs you of your empathy. There's a difference between healthy boundaries and cold-hearted detachment disguised as strength. One protects your well-being, the other slowly isolates you. Here's a reality check. The more you live by, I owe you nothing, the less people around you feel like they matter to you, and eventually they won't want to associate with you. So why is this important? Well, we should be making people feel like they're seen, respected, and valued. If our default attitude is, I don't owe you my time or my attention or any basic kindness, people pick up on that and they do it fast. You might not say it out loud, but it shows in how you act. You don't return calls. You don't respond to messages. You cancel plans without much thought. You ghost people. You listen just enough, but not really. You prioritize your convenience over connection. You think it's just self-preservation or protection, but people around you feel it, and they see selfishness and a lack of empathy. I understand that there may be times when you have to cut ties with someone who makes you feel uncomfortable or who is toxic or dangerous, and you have to block their attempts to communicate. To me, that does not count as ghosting somebody. We like to think that we're independent, self-made, and self-sufficient. But as human beings, we're wired for connection. There's an unspoken social contract that holds humanity together, and we often pretend that that doesn't exist. The elements of that contract include basic respect, reliability, and small acts of consideration. No, you don't legally owe anyone these things, but socially and emotionally, you absolutely do. We all owe each other common decency and dignity. Humanity runs on reciprocity. You show up, I show up. You care, I care. If you want respect, you need to give respect. Break that balance, like your needs or your comfort somehow outweighs somebody else's, and things fall apart. Here's an uncomfortable question for you, and hopefully it'll make you think. If everybody in your life adopted the I owe you nothing attitude, do you think your relationships would get better, or would they disappear? So what should we do differently? Well, We don't have to live our lives thinking that we owe everybody everything. That would be just ludicrous. But to be a decent human being, we should return the phone call, return the favor, respond to the message, even if it's a negative response. Keep small promises. Listen fully. Show appreciation. Offer help, even when it's slightly inconvenient. And we do these things not because we're weak, but because these things are part of giving others basic human decency. As a society, we need to understand something powerful. Humanity is built on small, consistent moments of generosity and attention. It's effort, it's presence, it's respect for others. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to tolerate disrespect. You don't have to overextend yourself. But there's a middle ground most people miss. You can have boundaries and still be thoughtful. You can say no without making people feel like they don't matter. I owe you nothing might protect you in the short term, but in the long term, it can cost you connection, trust, and likability. While you might not be legally required to give anything, if you want meaningful relationships, you absolutely owe them something. Because the older we get, the more we realize that our relationships aren't automatic. They're built or they fade. And sometimes the difference between those two things comes down to the smallest of actions. If you have something to add, drop a comment down below. But as always, let's keep it civil and respectful. And if you like my content, please like and subscribe. It'd sure help. Maybe even ring the little bell so you know when I drop a new video. Oh, and there's a link to buy me a coffee if you feel so inclined. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.